This Labor Day, say goodbye to spills, stains, and overpriced furniture with WashableSofas.com, featuring Anabay, the only machine washable sofa inside and out, where designer quality meets budget-friendly pricing. Sofas start at just $6.99, making it the perfect time to upgrade your space. Anabay's pet-friendly, stain-resistant, and interchangeable slipcovers are made with high-performance fabric built for real life. You'll love the cloud-like comfort of hypoallergenic, high-resilience foam that never needs fluffing, and a durable steel frame that stands the test of time. With modular pieces, you can rearrange anytime. It's a sofa that adapts to your life. Now through Labor Day, get up to 60% off site-wide at WashableSofas.com. Every order comes with a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. If you're not in love, send it back for a full refund. No return shipping, no restocking fees, every penny back. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
It's KFI AM 640, and you're listening to The Conway Show on demand on the iHeartRadio app. It is The Conway Show on a really, really depressing Friday. We lost 3 beautiful, well-trained, professional deputies from the LA Sheriff's Department. All 3 have passed away in an explosion early this morning, in the East Los Angeles area. The LA Sheriff's Department has not had this many guys or gals killed in a single day since 1857. And if you history buffs are out there, that is before Abraham Lincoln was president. And that is an awful long time. Here with some of the details, who's been covering it all day long, is Michael Monks. How are you, sir?
I'm well. It has been a tough day here in Los Angeles. Just a tragic story that emerged out of East LA at this training facility where the Sheriff's Department keeps its Special Enforcement Bureau and the guys who specifically work on this type of thing, arson and explosives. Yeah. Initially, when you hear there was an explosion at a law enforcement training facility in this environment, your mind may drift to a bad place, thinking, my goodness, there's a lot of bad stuff happening, a lot of strong feelings. And was this some sort of attack? And it did quickly emerge that this appeared to be some sort of tragic accident. We don't know all of the details yet. We did hear from Sheriff Luna just before noon today. That's the last time they have spoken publicly on this. Here's a little bit of what he had to say.
We have and we will continue to honor federal judicial warrants.
I'm sorry, Steph. That's the wrong sound. I didn't mean to send you that one. That is related to yesterday's press conference, and that is my mistake. That's related to the immigration handover from the jails that he talked about yesterday. What we heard from Sheriff Luna was an emotional statement. He was nearing tears as he talked about how difficult it was to talk to the family members who he had to tell that their loved ones are gone.
Yeah, I think I have that audio here. Let me play a little of it here. See if this is...
This morning, shortly after 7:30 a.m., an explosion occurred at our Special Enforcement Bureau. Arson Explosives Detail facility located in the 1000 block of Northeastern Avenue in East Los Angeles, which is right behind this hill. Tragically, there were 3 sworn members who were fatally killed that were assigned to our arson explosives detail. No other department members were injured or transported to any hospitals. This is, unfortunately, the largest loss of life for us as the LA County Sheriff's Department since 1857. Between all 3 sworn members, they had served our community proudly for 74 years, and that's amongst all 3 of them collectively. 19 years, 22 years, and 33 years. And at this point, we are not giving out their names. One of the reasons it took me a while to get out here, one of my priorities is the families of our deputies. And I've met with several of them this morning. There are still others who are on their way. There are others who have not been notified. The last thing I want to do is them to turn on the news and find out that way. So thank you for respecting that at this point. My second priority were our employees. Our employees are hurting right now. Members of our Special Enforcement Bureau, other members of our arson detail as well, arson explosives detail. In regards to the details of what happened, I'm going to give you what I have right now. There's a lot more that we don't know than what we do know. But our intent is to look at this from the very beginning and figure out what is it exactly that caused this tragic event. Currently, our homicide detectives are on scene, and they are investigating the deaths that are we are being assisted by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, who are investigating the post-blast portion of this incident. You have seen other vehicles other than FBI. You've seen the ATF here. They will be assisting the FBI as well. I am very grateful to the bomb squad of the Los Angeles Police Department. And I mentioned Chief Jim McDonald standing behind me here. They immediately came out to assist after this explosion occurred to render the devices safe. And just so all of you know, they were just rendered safe within the last minutes, right before we walked out here. So it was still an active scene. It wasn't stable, and definitely a very active crime scene as we go forward. At this time, we do not know the cause of the explosion. However, the specific area has been closed off due to the ongoing investigation. We believe there is no threat to this community. Actually, I could tell you there is no threat to this community. This is an isolated incident. And again, no threats. We have road closures, Eastern Boulevard between Blatchard Street and Lotta Drive. And again, I do want to thank all of our local partners, our local elected officials that are here to help us get through this very difficult time. We have our Psychological Services Bureau personnel on scene that are assisting our employees at this moment, along with peer counseling and chaplain services. And as I said earlier, I have met with 2 of the 3 families thus far. And as you can imagine, those were extremely challenging conversations.
Yeah, you can hear it in his voice there at the end. Very emotional.
And that was just before he said he would start to take questions. So he did have to take a moment to just take a breath after talking about how challenging those conversations were. The memorials will begin right away, Conway. Right at about 4:30, a procession is going to be held to transport the bodies of these 3 LA County Sheriff's deputies who died in this explosion this morning in East Los Angeles. It will take them to the medical examiner's office. So the plan is to take them from this regional training center in East LA. That procession will head west on Sheriff's Road, north on Eastern Avenue, east on Ramona Road, west on the 10 freeway, south on Soto Street, and west on Marengo Street. So you may see them out there in the afternoon drive if you're in that direction. And LA County Board of Supervisors Chair Catherine Barger has directed that all county flags be flown at half staff in their honor.
These are veterans. These are, 19 years on the job, 22 years, and 33 years. And this is a real huge blow to Sheriff's Department and all of the police people who give their lives every day. Their safety is never secured. They never guaranteed to go home at night to see their families, and they do it. And they do it, 99.999% do it beautifully. They do it honorably. And these 3 guys have given the ultimate sacrifice. I heard 2 rumors. One, it might be a pipe bomb that they were cutting the top up, the soft end of it off. And the other one, it could have been a hand grenade.
I think we're all anxious to get the official word on what they were doing. What was this device that they were transporting? As you just noted, these were not rookies. Not only were these veteran members of the LA County Sheriff's Department, these are guys who specialize in handling that type of material. Sheriff Luna said, the word elite gets thrown around a lot, but it does apply to these guys. That's why we are anxiously awaiting the official update on what went wrong here.
Michael Monks is with us. That procession is going to start in about 15 minutes. We will carry that live here on KFI. And I wonder, as far as the district attorney goes, whoever was in possession of that material that went off, and they had to collect it from them and bring it to the sheriff's station to have it dismantled and rendered safe. I wonder if they're going to be charged with 3 counts of murder.
We have to find out the circumstances. You heard the sheriff there say that this is such a skilled team because they get lots of real-world practice, 1,100 calls a year. That's multiple times a day on average that you are called out because of some suspicious package. Now, they may not all turn out to be active or potentially explosive, but they are called to many, many scenes over the course of the year, every single day, in fact. So where this came from, why somebody may have had it in their possession before the sheriffs got their hands on it. Right. These are all details that we want and need. The sheriff says we can't do that now. We don't even really know all of the details.
And then we'll have the humanity side, the where they lived, how many kids they had, whether they're married, mom and dad, maybe they've had a history of law enforcement going back generation. We're going to have all that information for today. Can you stay with us?
Yeah, sure.
All right, Michael Monks is with us. That procession will start at 4:30 in about 15 minutes from now.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. on demand from KFI AM 640.
Monks, on a personal, and Michael Monks is with us, has been covering this all day beautifully, by the way. Where were you when you found out this happened? Because this is a big deal. I found out when I woke up instantly, and I saw on one of the 3 or 4 websites I go to for news, it said 3 deputies killed, but it didn't say California or Los Angeles. And I was praying it was not Los Angeles, and was shocked when I
superficially. You look out the window right now where we are here in Burbank, and you see a beautiful Friday, and that's how it's been all day, right? Outside of this tragedy, of course. I'm talking superficially. And so I've been filling in for an hour all week on Gary and Shannon because Gary's away, and I'm filling in with Shannon. They do a podcast now for Saturdays, and we recorded it this morning, and we were recording in the 8 o'clock hour when this came across. We had wrapped that up, and suddenly kick into high news gear. When what started as like, this is going to be an easy, we're just going to gather the news that we can of the day, coast out of here the way everybody else does on a Friday at their workplace, and get out of here and enjoy this day. But then this came across fairly early in the workday, and has obviously, for rightful reasons, dominated our conversation here since.
The reason why I ask is because you and I, a mild connection. We know some of the deputies. Maybe you've interviewed the sheriff or LAPD and some of the officers there. But if your family, if your mom or dad serves in the sheriff's department, and you see the headline that 3 sheriffs were killed or 3 deputies were killed, you are now 100% on that story until you find out everything you can. And that's why I think that the mental well-being of the kids of police officers has been buried for a long time. I think it has a tremendous toll on those kids.
My dad was a police officer.
Oh, okay.
And my mother was a police dispatcher in Kentucky, in Covington, Kentucky.
Oh, so you were a small child, and your dad would go off, and work all night, and you were wondering if he's coming home. And
there were times where both of them would work third shift, and my brother and I would be at home. So dad would be patrolling, and mom would be working the dispatch line.
Right.
And there was an incident in 1997. So I'm a senior in high school at this point, I think, and a Covington officer. Covington is connected to Cincinnati by a bridge divided by the Ohio River. And a Covington officer was pursuing a suspect on foot. And the suspect jumped over one of the railings and landed on the walking path of the bridge. And the Covington police officer tried to follow, but fell through the bridge and into the river below, and was ultimately lost.
Oh, my God.
And that call goes to the dispatch center. And there was a lengthy period where my mother, now I was asleep during all of this, where my mother did not know which Covington officer had fallen.
Oh, my God. I get goosebumps. I tell you, the kids, the wives, and the husbands of people who serve in that capacity, I think has been buried for long decades, if not centuries.
All of us, just by any twist of fate, this could be our last day on Earth, but there are certain roles in our society where that is more top of mind because of the nature of the work, and this is one of them. And we're talking about 3 guys who worked for the sheriff's department for decades. You add up, it's almost 70 years between them that
years.
They have in this capacity. In that role of being experts, not just in law enforcement, but specifically in handling explosive devices and responding to those type of calls, and to have it end like this is just so shocking on your own property,
right,
on your own LA County Sheriff's Department property, probably a routine exercise that they were going through. It's hard because, again, you think to the superficiality of today, a beautiful Friday here in Southern California, and there are 3 families that got the worst possible news today.
And that explosion must have been tremendous because those guys are very well protected when they handle stuff like that. I talked to a friend of mine who's a retired deputy, a guy named Johnny Hansen. He was in the bomb squad. He knows all 3 of these guys. We don't want to say the names yet, but the younger guy, he took him to the store to buy his first uniform when he became a deputy with the LA Sheriff's Department. So it hits these guys like a ton of bricks. It hits them so hard, and it's such a devastating time. I wonder, there's a lot of questions that come up. Will they have all 3 of the services at the same time? And does it help the other 2 families when 3 families are going together and that bond that they share? Will that help them get over it, or does it hurt? I don't know.
They'll always remember. And, I mentioned that officer back home who we lost in 1997. To this day, every year, there is a blue ribbon tied around a wreath that is placed on that spot on the bridge. Good. Because there are still active duty police officers in that department who worked with them. And that's going to be the case here. If you think about a 25-year-old sheriff's deputy that works with these guys, he's got 25 years of work ahead of him. Yeah. He'll always remember this day.
I would love to see, and maybe this is asking too much, but 20 years ago it would have been a slam dunk. I would love to see Governor Newsom there sitting right next to Donald Trump, sitting next to Barack Obama, and all these people from all different walks of life, all different political views, come in and sit in that front row to honor these guys.
It feels like that era is past.
Yeah, I would. It would go a long way if that could happen. I think a lot of people need that right now, and it's just it's beyond words, the devastation that these 3 families are going through. We have to take a small break. Thank you, Monks. Michael Monks, again, Saturday, 7 to 9, and I'm sure you'll be touching on this subject.
We'll go over this again and all the other news from the week for sure.
We'll have the procession. Elex Michaelson will come on with us unless the procession starts between now and 4:35, and then he'll be covering that on Channel 11. But you're going to see Channel 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, and 11. And you're going to see that procession starting in about 3 or 4 minutes, if it's on time, roll through the streets of Los Angeles with taking the bodies of these 3 brave men who died this morning at downtown Los Angeles to the coroner's office. It's going to start, the bodies of the 3 are going to be, who died in the explosion this morning, East Los Angeles. They're going to be taken, the procession will head west on the Sheriff's Road, north on Eastern, east on Ramona, west on the 10. So they're going to get on the 10 freeway. So if you're on the 10 freeway right now and it is closed down for a while, you'll know for very good reason. Then south on Soto Street and west on Moreno Street.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. on demand from KFI AM 640.
This Labor Day, say goodbye to spills, stains, and overpriced furniture with WashableSofas.com. Featuring Anabay, the only machine washable sofa inside and out, where designer quality meets budget-friendly pricing. Sofas start at just $6.99, making it the perfect time to upgrade your space. Anabay's pet-friendly, stain-resistant, and interchangeable slipcovers are made with high-performance fabric built for real life. You'll love the cloud-like comfort of hypoallergenic, high-resilience foam that never needs fluffing, and a durable steel frame that stands the test of time. With modular pieces, you can rearrange anytime. It's a sofa that adapts to your life. Now through Labor Day, get up to 60% off site-wide at WashableSofas.com. Every order comes with a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. If you're not in love, send it back for a full refund. No return shipping, no restocking fees, every penny back. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
A devastating day here. 3 L.A. Sheriff's Department deputies were killed this morning. One with 19 years service, another one with 22, and another one with 33 years on the job. It's the Sheriff's Enforcement Bureau, and there are two stories that are circulating. It may have been a pipe bomb, or it may have been a hand grenade that they were trying to render safe. It went off, and all three, I believe, died immediately. And so it is an awful day for Los Angeles. If you're driving around, there's just a sort of a sadness and just a lot of feeling that, you know, three families are going through the ultimate hurt and heartache right now, and you can't imagine what they're going through. Elex Michaelson is with us from Channel 11 News. Elex, welcome to the program. Sorry on such a horrible day like this, but what are your feelings? Have you heard anything that we haven't heard?
I have not. Just a bit of a warning. We are waiting imminently for the procession to begin, where they will go from where these.
All right, let me put him on. Let's put Elex on hold. We'll get back to him. He has a horrible connection. Maybe he's inside the studio there. Yeah, we're all waiting for the procession to begin, and it will. It's scheduled. It was scheduled for 4:30. It looks like it might be closer to 5. And a procession will transport the bodies of 3 LA County Sheriff's deputies who died in this explosion this morning in East Los Angeles to the medical examiner's office. That's where they're going, to the medical examiner's office. I think I misspoke earlier. They're going from the regional training center where they are, and the procession will head west on Sheriff's Road, north on Eastern, east on Ramona Road, and then they'll be on the 10 freeway, and they'll be on the 10 westbound, south on Soto Street, and then west on Marengo Street. And they'll be going to the medical examiner's office in East Los Angeles. So it's going to be a fairly short procession. They'll stop traffic. I think you'll see hundreds, maybe thousands of firemen, paramedics, first responders. I imagine you'll see the public who supports the law enforcement here in California out on the streets or the overpasses. And as soon as it begins, we'll carry that live as well. So that's a story that we're working on. We're also keeping an eye on the emergency alert system. They've warned us the National Weather Service has issued a flash flood warning for LA County. And I'm looking at it right now. And if you're familiar with Wrightwood, this storm, these two big cells are just north of Wrightwood, between Palmdale and Wrightwood. It looks like it is going to absolutely open up there. So that's on the west end of that. And then on the eastern end, it's east of Apple Valley and north of Big Bear Lake, where there's going to be a lot of rain there as well. And it's enough rain to bring on the emergency alert system several times during the day. So please be aware of that as well. All right, back with Elex Michaelson. Elex, a very sad day. I imagine when something like this happens, everybody in the newsroom stops what they're working on and just tries to gather as much information as they can.
Yeah, it is a sad day. I'm sorry for the bad connection. I was sitting in our studio because we're anticipating breaking in when this procession starts, and so I may have to leave if that happens. Sure. But it is a yeah. I mean, the sheriff said more sheriff's deputies died today than any other day since 1857.
Yeah, that's wild.
Which is really remarkable if you think about it.
Well, I mean, if you think, you don't have to be a history buff to know that was before Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's that puts it into some perspective of how rare something like this is, and how hard it is for this department too. Even though it's one of the largest departments in the world, it's still a family, and you could see it on the faces of the deputies that were going in and out of that area today, and you will see it on the faces of everybody that comes out. And I sort of hand it to law enforcement whenever there's a death in that family, and everybody in law enforcement sees themselves as kind of one big family. Everybody comes out, and it is so kind of beautiful, the way that they stand for their brothers and sisters and pay them respect, and the way that the community comes out too. Those processions are always such an emotional thing, and we're about to see one any minute now.
You know, speaking of that, that's actually a good point. You don't get into the bomb squad or the Sheriff's Enforcement Bureau without having to network and to make a lot of friends, and that's what happens when you go through training, and then you socialize with the right people. They like you, and they want you to work with that unit, because that unit might be together. You might be with the same people for 15, 20 years, and they don't want somebody who's standoffish and who keeps to themselves. So these are, in my opinion, in my untutored opinion, some of the most well-liked guys and gals in law enforcement.
Yeah, and these guys have a tremendous amount of expertise as well. So it's a big loss also just operationally for the department when they need somebody in this sort of thing. To not have to lose 3 different people at the same time is awful.
Yeah, it is terrible. And we're going to see the procession today. And then you start to wonder, will the service include all 3 of them? Will there be 3 separate services? And if there is one big service, it's not, unreasonable or impossible to think that it would be something. Obviously, the governor is going to be there, but maybe even the president and the vice president would be out there as well, the head of the FBI, and to get everybody, in the United States who is in, top positions and authority to all sit in the front row and pay respects to these guys.
That would be a nice thought. I wish we had better relations between the federal government and California right now, but it would be nice if that happened.
So the procession is going to start momentarily, and that's going to go to the medical examiner's office. What is the reason for that, and why do they take people there?
That's the standard operating procedure. I mean, part of what they do is they do an autopsy on their bodies, and so that's usually in these situations. That's what we've seen over the years.
Right. Buddy, I know you got to go. You got to jump and cover this thing live. We'll catch you next week. Really appreciate you coming on, and we'll talk to you next Friday.
All right. Thanks, Tim.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. All right, Elex Michaelson. You can hear it in his voice as well. Always an upbeat guy. Always doesn't take himself too seriously, and you can hear the depression. You can certainly feel it here at KFI. When talking to Stefouche and Crozier, Bellio and Angel, there's just something in the air that really is hard to explain, and the sadness. And then you put yourself in the position of the wives, of the mom and dads, the parents, the children, of course, of these 3 deputies, and you think of what they have to go through on what should have been a great Friday afternoon with the Orange County Fair opening, Del Mar opening. It should have been a great summer afternoon where everybody was in a great mood, and something like this just knocks you off your feet. We're live on KFI AM 640. We'll bring that procession to you as soon as it begins.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. On Demand from KFI AM 640.
This Labor Day, say goodbye to spills, stains, and overpriced furniture with WashableSofas.com. Featuring Anabay, the only machine washable sofa inside and out, where designer quality meets budget-friendly pricing. Sofas start at just $6.99, making it the perfect time to upgrade your space. Anabay's pet-friendly, stain-resistant, and interchangeable slipcovers are made with high-performance fabric built for real life. You'll love the cloud-like comfort of hypoallergenic, high-resilience foam that never needs fluffing, and a durable steel frame that stands the test of time. With modular pieces, you can rearrange anytime. It's a sofa that adapts to your life. Now through Labor Day, get up to 60% off site-wide at WashableSofas.com. Every order comes with a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. If you're not in love, send it back for a full refund. No return shipping, no restocking fees, every penny back. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
KFI AM 640. It is the Conway Show. We're waiting for the procession of these three brave men who lost their lives this morning, three deputies from the LA Sheriff's Department. And as soon as that comes on TV, we'll carry that for you live. But let me give you a timeline of what happened today. This is basically a timeline of what happened from this morning up until about 3 o'clock. Then we have another update for you here. But if you're just tuning in, and maybe just getting off a plane, you landed at LAX, you got your car. Three brave, beautiful LA Sheriff's Department deputies were killed this morning in an explosion. And I believe they said they're part of the Sheriff's Enforcement Bureau. It happened very quickly. They have a lot of experience, 74 years combined experience with these three deputies. 19 years for one of the deputies, 22 and 33 for the other two. There's two sort of rumors going around that I spoke to some police officers today. One that it might be a pipe bomb, that they were trying to cut the top off, the soft end open. And another one, it might have been a hand grenade. But it sounds like these three deputies died instantly in this explosion. So here's the timeline of what has happened here in Southern California. As a matter of fact, let me hold it until we come back, because it's about 2 minutes long, and I don't want to cut it short. So we will come back and tell you the timeline, and also pick up the procession as well. But that also may be something you'll want to see or participate in, and you can. And when we come back, we'll give you the streets. It'll be on the 10 freeway and coming westbound on the 10 freeway. Towards downtown Los Angeles to the medical examiner's office. So very sad day. We'll give you all the details and continue to give you more details as we gather them. It's Conway Show late on KFI AM 640. Conway Show on demand on the iHeartRadio app. Now, you can always hear us live on KFI AM 640, 4 to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and anytime on demand on the iHeartRadio app.
This Labor Day, say goodbye to spills, stains, and overpriced furniture with WashableSofas.com. Featuring Anna Bay, the only machine washable sofa inside and out, where designer quality meets budget-friendly pricing. Sofas start at just $6.99, making it the perfect time to upgrade your space. Anna Bay's pet-friendly, stain-resistant, and interchangeable slipcovers are made with high-performance fabric built for real life. You'll love the cloud-like comfort of hypoallergenic, high-resilience foam that never needs fluffing, and a durable steel frame that stands the test of time. With modular pieces, you can rearrange anytime. It's a sofa that adapts to your life. Now through Labor Day, get up to 60% off site-wide at WashableSofas.com. Every order comes with a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. If you're not in love, send it back for a full refund. No return shipping, no restocking fees, every penny back. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.